Good morning from Sagres in southern Portugal. It's a sunny day today. It was a bit overcast last night, but it's sunnier this morning. And I'm just going to enjoy the ride today, visiting some of the little towns along this Algarve coast. So we're on our way. It's an easy run today to Huelva, but it's going to take longer than I thought because once again I've got to deal with the change in time zone between Portugal and Spain. So we're away at 9:30. Could have been away earlier, but I decided to go for a walk down to the beach. This is the main road that goes east-west across the Algarve region of Portugal, and it's so much busier than any of the other roads I've been on in Portugal so far. It's slow going. Well, I've asked Garmin to bring me down to the seafront in Portimao, just because I'm interested to see what it's like down here. And mostly it seems to be big hotels. This is more Portimao Old Town. And now we're just coming into Faro railway station here. Faro is a place I've been before, so I recognise some of these bits and pieces. There's Faro bus station. Parking for motorcycles. That's what we like to see. Well, that was a nice little stop in Faro. It's time now to get on the road, get through into Spain, and get to my Airbnb in Huelva. Here we go, Spain 1 kilometre, and look at this bridge, this is something else. There was a sign, España. Here we are back in Spain again. Just coming into Huelva now, and I see one of those flashing signs on the wall says 31 degrees. Tigger says 25, so the air temperature is somewhere between those two. Just got to find my Airbnb now. I'm later than planned, but that's partly because I forgot about the 1 hour time difference between Spain and Portugal again. So Tigger says it's 2:46, whereas in Spain it's 3:46. Oh well, never mind. Okay, so it's here somewhere. I think it's one of those buildings on my right, but unfortunately I don't really understand how Spanish addresses work, so I don't really know where I'm going. Just need to find somewhere drop Tigger temporarily, which for now is going to be just here. Well, I'm here. I arrived an hour later than I should. Tigger's parked down there, and I think he'd be safe there under his invisibility cloak. I could maybe find somewhere else to put him, but I think he's fine there. I can see him from here, which is good. We've got living room, little kitchen, and then of course a bedroom with all my clobber already scattered about everywhere. Friday I'm getting new tyres on Tigger, and the Triumph garage is kind of just over there somewhere. And then once I've done that, we're ready for getting across to Africa. Well, good morning from Huelva in southern Spain. I'm on the road this morning looking for Triumph Garage to get some new tyres for Tigger. They're already ordered and paid for, so just a case of finding the place. Sat-nav has taken me around in a few circles this morning, but hopefully it's now worked out where I am. I was supposed to be there half an hour ago, so I hope that's not going to be a problem. There it is. Moto Bianco or Moto Blanco. But here we are.
So that's Tigger dropped off. The trick now is I've got to find my way back to the flat, and it was a bit confusing getting here because Garmin took me round and round in circles. So I'm hoping I can find my way. Well, found my way back to the flat, that's good. Just got to take it easy now for an hour or two and pop back this afternoon and go and fetch Tigger with his new tyres on. So here's downtown Huelva, and there's a statue of Christopher Columbus. I'll have to look up what his involvement is with the city. Let's go this way. I've walked back to the Triumph garage now, and I can see Tigger there parked outside with his new tyres on, so that's all done. Let's go and pick him up, see how they feel.
Now you must to be careful the first kilometer.
Go slow.
Exactly, because they are quite a bit sleepy.
Okay, well that's the tyres done. First 100 yards they feel a bit strange because they're not what I'm used to at all. But I will have to get used to them. They will wear in. So on any motorcycle forum, the biggest discussion is always about tyres, and you're going to want to know what I've gone for. So these are Bridgestone AX41s, and they are genuine knobbly tyres which will cope with gravel and sand. Now I'm no expert in off-road riding. These tyres are 90% good for that. Tigger as an XRX version of the Tiger 800 is about 70%. My skills are about 10%. But I can learn, and now that I've got the right kit underneath me, I stand a chance at least of getting through some interesting roads. Well, we're all set. So it's another good morning from Huelva, here in southern Spain, where I'm setting off this morning to go for Algeciras, and that's the ferry port, where I'm booked on the ferry tomorrow. Had a nice few days here in Huelva, bit of R&R for me, bit of maintenance for Tigger, and I'm ready to get going again. Well, it feels good to be on the move again after a couple of days of kicking my heels in Huelva. Strange thing about this kind of travel is that it's important to have days off to rest and relax and do maintenance on Tigger and a bit of maintenance on myself. I can't travel every day. Travelling day after day after day without a break is very tiring. But I don't always enjoy the days off. I tend to sit around and not do very much, and it doesn't feel very natural. Always feels a lot better to get back on the bike and making progress again. And this morning I'm leaving Huelva It's quite an industrial area. There's a big port on my right here. There are a few tourist spots and things to see in Huelva, but mostly it involved just sitting around in the flat, catching up on emails and videos and things. It's a lot cooler this morning. 15 degrees on Tigger's dash and big dark clouds up ahead. I'm wondering if I'm actually going to get some rain. Well, I could have just bypassed Seville, but going through the middle is much more interesting. This is the famous Seville bull ring. Up on the hill behind the bull ring up there is the Alcazar Palace, and I did a wee sketch of that a few years ago, which I'll just show you that here. Pleasant little lunch stop there, the Cafe Moreno. Just coffee and tapas, just what I needed. And here we go again, back off on the little back roads towards Algeciras. Lovely panorama up there. This is rural Andalusia. Quite wild, quite windy, that's why all the wind turbines are here. One of the things I'm having to do today is keep an eye on my fuel range. The knobbly tyres tend to sap a bit of energy as you ride along, and I'm not sure Tigger's computer has quite managed to recalibrate. So although it says I've now got 125 kilometres left in the tank, I suspect I haven't really, and I'll need to bear that in mind, particularly as I get into Morocco or if I go further south into Western Sahara. The fuel stops are very much further apart, and I'll need to be very wary of what my computer is telling me in terms of the range left in the tank. Well, it's been threatening rain all day today, and now it's really started. We're just 14 degrees centigrade now. What a change in the weather. This is more like being at home in the UK than being in Spain. But in some ways I'm grateful for it. It's going to get hot when I get across into Africa, so it's nice to have a couple of cool days, I suppose. I hope I'll be able to dry off in my hotel tonight before I get on the ferry tomorrow. So we're in Algeciras. The port is way over on my left. Just following directions now to my hotel. I splashed out a bit on this hotel for tonight. My last night on, well, can I call it mainland Spain? My last night in Europe. And tomorrow night I should be in Africa. Here we go. First impressions are it looks a bit posh for me. Not too posh for Tigger, of course. Tigger's royalty. 2 bikes next to me, one French, one Spanish. Betcha they're going across to Morocco tomorrow.
So here I am in my room in Algeciras, and it's one of those things when you're travelling solo, you can sometimes get a good deal on the funny little single rooms that they can't easily let to other people's. Got here my own room, my own balcony. Down there is Tigger. It's still raining, which isn't great, but I'll check the weather report. Hopefully it'll clear up tomorrow. That's been an interesting ride today. Unusual to have a bit of rain. Don't mind it too much because I know that I'm not going to get very much of that. It's going to get warmer. It's been interesting getting used to those new knobbly tyres. I still haven't quite got the hang of them. One of the key things I've got to get used to is how much more fuel the bike consumes when it's using those tyres. I really do need to keep a close eye on the range. I've got spare petrol cans with me. You've perhaps seen them strapped onto Tigger, and I will need to get those filled up when I get across into Morocco and keep them full just in case until I'm sure what I'm doing. But anyway, I'm here in Algeciras, ready for the ferry tomorrow. Thanks for watching. If you like this kind of video, click like, click subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.